County in Iowa and Henderson County going into. Now, what we know now is that radar is indicating some of various rotation going within storm south. So that is why the training is out. That's why that this particular storm could actually have a tornado any minute. So it's from Gulfport, not just Burlington, but also north. You need to take cover immediately. Lines are going on in your particular home. So do take cover right away. And once again, this is the area likely where maybe it's taking place. Looks like just getting ready across the river in Gulfport. So if there's any rotation coming right here, where possibly seeing rotation take place just near or the Gulfport area. This is possibly where we're seeing the rotation take place as it comes its way off and east. One of the nice things with our features actually show where possible rotation could be. A little red that you see here, or dark gray, indicating that the ones that are moving, some of them is moving from right to or east, whereas a little far to go. The green here, that's indicating rain likely going from right to east. So this is where the concern is, type of rotation that is going right onto the umber itself. I'm going to try and make it over to here level X if we can. That is also radar to show actual design of the rotation possibly be taken. So we can go to level X. If there's a problem with that, so give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and I would really appreciate it. But level X, it really does give a much better view of a possible nick in the winds that are going on within the storm. So you can see my curve right here. I can get a little Burlington area and Gulfport and sweep. It's on top of the Burlington itself. And if we go ahead and before that, and see how of that is generally from west to northeast. So this is what we've been noticing not only on the radar, the National Weather Service over Mount, so on our borders as well. Better as we see here on the level as possible. Once again, we're things going from right to left here. And this purple that we see here is likely going from west to east. The high area that we have, this was as far as a train recently of a cloud. It was just touching the ground, so that is elated from a spotter out there. Nonetheless, when it comes to the strong rotation, doesn't mean that the possible look of another or a top be ruled out. And that's the big concern this warning, is to make it off to the east. We do have that camera that around the Burlington area, and we're able to go back to it. As up and up, we're able to get another view of what we're noticing right here. Here's what we're seeing out of the Burlington area. And this is out of Westland, right?
Tuesday, 65 feet in the air in West Burlington.
So what we're seeing right here is located south of the storm itself. It's a great location. In front of it is where we get rain, likely hail. You can actually see the sienna to the left. So from there and that is where we're seeing some hail. And then as any type of rotation, we're likely seeing maybe on or left of that. We've been noticing on our storm that rotation's on its way on top of the Gulfport area. So that is much in connection with what we're seeing right here. If Command is south and west, that's probably looking straight ahead. This is likely for the Gulfport area itself. So right now, in the visual that we see right there, really can't see much. This grain wraps. We'd be surprised about that, given that is surrounding it. That may be difficult for spotters to see if there is a type of going on. Looks like the sky's a little bit dark. Likely the rain is starting to pick up in Burlington.
We are watching right now to just see exactly what on there, what we can't see with cameras. So a picture we just got on our out of Burlington of some hail. Estimate, with how big it is. I would say perhaps golf ball size there in that one home. Reporting $P-sized hail in Burlington as well. Kind of a, but that's so far in terms of the Burlington area. So watching, see any other comments that might to give us a better picture of what exactly is going on around there, James.
Yeah, that is of golf ball size hail that is going just outside the Burlington area. And so monitoring very carefully. We'll go back to our storm tracker, and I do have what we're really concerned about the possibility of some rotation. This has had producing a funnel cloud around the Burlington area as of last from one of the spotters out there. More than that, but we are there have a lot of. Now I'm getting at the nation on our chat line. Our good friends at the National. I've had some reports from Burlington spotter there, and that's going to continue. The storm a little bit looks like any kind of rotation is now located just and east of, or at least I look at our level X updated just east of the Gulfport area. On our storm traffic, even more. This is what I monitor very carefully here. You can see how there's some of that rotation right around the area itself. So what we're concerned about, there is a lot of heavy rain going on, so this could likely be a rain situation, a very event for anyone, especially for out there when it comes to this. I just got another, there's another from one to 1 mile east-northeast of Gulf. A brief touchdown did take place. Wall cloud is in progress, but the rain current we've been talking about is no surprise. We are seeing a rain situation that is, and that type of a touchdown is located north of the Gulfport area. Once again, we're dealing with rising velocity, and with greens are kind of from right to the reds moving from right and out right now for the possibility of a touchdown. More reported tornadoes. I'm just reading this. Just kind of read around the Gulfport, moving very slowly east at around 25 miles an hour. Slow is if we to extend a little further east, no major towns ahead of us. We are concerned about our farmers out there as well. So if you live right along Highway 34, I would say take cover immediately. The rotation has no tendency of breaking down, at least when it comes to the duration of this tornado warning that goes on until 60. I would say if you're watching us on the Des Moines side now, I would have really the worst is with since this storm made its way off to the east. We are in a position of radar loops going on here, radar scans, not only the one at the Quad Cities, but also the one located in Lincoln, Illinois. So this is what we're kind of trying to focus on more than anything else. So let's see, I'm going to wind out a little bit because now the possible location is now just northeast of Gulfport. Let me widen out a little bit. We kind of lose the Gulfport itself. Good idea where the highway or icon is. That's where and the possible is right along highway and points north. So getting on that level, noticing some rotation going on just northeast of the area. Lightning going on, a whole lot. Could be seeing some flashing in this particular area. We've already seen some rain around Burlington and just points east. Very likely we're going to get maybe an inch or so on it before this begins off. So on roadways, Highway 34 is going to be a big concern as we go through the next few hours.
Let's take another look at what we're getting on Facebook of a picture sent in. It's kind of so it's a little bit more about what we're looking like. Just this looks rather low, certainly.
Likely this is on the end of the storm itself, so I wouldn't be about that. I'll be taking this shot just south of where the possible rotation is actually taking place.
Into that, we also heard from our newsroom to let us know that near the casino in Burlington, he actually saw it never found, but he said the wind was so strong it was lifting up some hills on one of his building. An idea of what the situation is there. Had to, of course, which is very smart to do, so we called in. In addition, Larson on telling me half mile east of Gulfport, lightning hit a tree, caused some tree damage. So, like you said, a lot of strong light area too.
Yeah, we got to go up the storm tracker itself. There's a whole lot of lightning going after the storm, and it really hasn't fallen whatsoever. And being so close, you can see on the upper right-hand screen, these are light strikes in the 10 minutes or so, and you can see they're close to 500 light going on. It really hasn't dropped in the amount of lightning strikes out there. That's a mature storm, and it's some pretty good rotation. As this is just one of several reports of that they've seen clouds out with this storm. And I have here joining us, this is the one from our storm tracker, and you see it's quite different than the colors that we have surrounding. Take it off now. You the intensity of the rain, some of the hail that's on as well, but put the wind velocity on it. For the green heads, it's bright, and you can see it is pretty much located north and east of our area, and just of Highway 4. I want to go in close and show you up here. There is Highway 34 right. This is where inflation is taking place, moving, like I said, slowly east at around 55 miles an hour. Real quick, get a better distinction what is going on at level X, because the tendency of doing as well is any type of location it will find. And you can see 54 right here. Here is Gulfport, and you can see that in the fields. Though if it be returned, you take cover away. We've been watching, even though this looks like there's no time. We know the fields out there. We know that there's some out there as well. So be extra. This is a very situation from this. And what I'm doing now is moving it in a station just south of Gladstone. I want to kind of back a few here. This is a real good indication as to possible movement of what's going on. It's located still on just of 34, but it's in northeast. If you want Gladstone, I would say you need to take cover right away. This is a rain storm that is rain is taking place. Don't go out there trying to of this. It's a very situation in least away. You're from windows that you're going to be as the storm continues off to the north. Jim?
Well, we've got the picture of Burlington once again. We're not getting any reports of any outages. Alliance reporting 5 cut off power right now in Ed County. Much further south, about 1 or 2 Isaac County, storm-related. But we're seeing some of those due to some of the strong. The storm, as you said, is kind of moving an area into the Illinois area in that. If we get West Burlington, we're getting a of the sky. And the show, as James said, the storm has moved. It's still the forces of nature.
Exactly, where people mostly damage in that area maybe. So are people about some hating, ranging from Peace size to all sides. We have another photo as well.
This is our camera that he's 65 feet in the air, and as you can see, I mean, you know these clouds, at least we're in Moines, in at least the West Burlington area.
Unfortunately for the itself, but really the worst is over. Going winding out, and we'll get an idea talking
about. All right, Denise was a picture for just a moment because with their bed of hail is what we're trying.
It gives you kind of a center right next to fall. Again, full-size hail, maybe just a bit.
That is taking place.
And what is indicative of? I mean, when I bought it, you start getting a little bit about perhaps a tornado.
Sure, any hail is actually always, if you know, when you see hail, you know you have some great that is going on. You know that you have a tremendous amount of energy going within this storm. It's called the convective available potential energy joules, and we're getting 4,000 or 5,000. That's pretty high, folks. We have to be concerned about the ingredient and the rotation, what we call the, and that is the atmosphere's ability to rotate speed levels, and that's kind of what right now. Now, there's a good showing on this storm. It's speed here. We most of the together not only make this a very tall, maybe 50,000 ice, I wouldn't be surprised, but a storm rotating, and when any type of going on, what we call storm, that means that this can last a while. It doesn't mean itself can tornado around the ground. It can, but all depends on that's not only going on and a large, but also as we get towards the surface on a storm as well. That's speed and wind shear kind of focus the speed, wind speed with height. Then we're going to focus on the directional shear. Where we're coming out of the southeast, as you make your way around 50,000 feet up, it begins to make its way more west. So when we start seeing that, I say 15 feet or so, that's a concern for some good rotation going on, and that the rotation could be a possible tornado might have taken place 1 mile northeast the Gulf area. So we're definitely keeping an eye on with this particular. Looking at our chat that is on. There was a possible funnel cloud. There was a funnel cloud reported just of the Burlington area. No surprise. And the strong circulation as we have been having way across. Okay, so once again, we're focusing on general right here. Once again, the velocity here. This is what we saw earlier, so that is news. But none of some type of rotation is later. Was about maybe 50 minutes ago. So that is some less. It is in west of highway. It's producing some producing likely some hail as well. Could be dealing with some of that hail, possibly maybe on the rotation itself. I wouldn't be surprised. We'd notice a little bit of the red color here, magenta, that we see just rotation. Normally, we that area, the best chance for seeing some of that that may be in place. That's kind of what we're at right now with this. Of course, this area was just to the left, or just is that possible rotation going. I'm going to widen it just a little bit more. We're watching here, and let me do a little right here. Let me move this a little bit over just west of the glass here, folks. Monitoring there for any possibility taking place. Around there indicates, and this is on the storm itself. Most things taking place east of that rotation in the storm itself. We're seeing some pretty good help that going on. So that even though we are seeing the rotation is not as what we saw about past show, it can recycle itself, and that's something really concerned with this storm. To make his way into Henderson itself, and so it's like a northeast at 5 miles an hour. While keeping in touch with people at the National Weather Service, wonderful job, because they do have some spotters out there that are monitoring the situation, watching it along Highway 34, maybe Gladstone itself. So if you just check, there is a tornado warning for portion of Henderson County until 6:30, which is 15 minutes or so. There's also severe thunderstorm watch out at midnight for areas of Quad Cities, not in Quad Cities, south of that. So that Mercer and even around Bureau and Points until midnight, it's all due in part to storms that have been taking areas just of the Quad itself. I'm going to get a better idea of where the watch is located, as well as the activity going with these storms. A good deal of lightning taking place with these storms. Nice little line. This whole itself is moving slowly off to the east. So that's why the Quad Cities itself is not an effect of this, not going to be impacted by a particular storm. We see some average time storms make its way across Quad Cities, but as a rotation, that mainly Quad Cities along Highway 34. That is what we're monitoring very closely. I wonder if we could go to GR level X, and I want to show you the latest information as far as the rotation is concerned. This is the town of Biggsville, right? And this is where the population is now taking place. A lot weaker than what we had in past several. In fact, I'll go back a little bit. This is what we saw earlier. That's what we're noticing as far as the rotation at the top of the Burr area and points west. We get reports of some funnel clouds being reported, but as I go in frames again, you can see how it slowly makes its way right on top of Gladstone itself, but the rotation is weakened just a little. That would be some just hope there that this particular storm doesn't recycle itself and creating more funnel clouds, or for that matter, even type of a brief touchdown or stuff. So that is what we're going to continue to watch very carefully. As you can see, just from the level, a lot of field out here. There are farmers out here, of course, concerned with the farmers. I don't believe enough attention. Well, you know what? We're keeping a close watch, guys. So if you hear this out there, or a storm, which is rotation itself around Gladstone and then in the big zone, that is what we're monitoring right here. This is continued present momentum. Now, what you're seeing here is the south is moving to the northeast, an indication that the whole storm is moving off to the east. It's basically what we're focused is we're going to focus on the rotation that is making its way off. So that is what we're going to do very carefully. Jim?
We've been seeing the storm is headed. We do have some pictures on the Facebook page on where the storm was, particularly on highway in the West Burlington. People believe that this picture of what they believe could be actually a cloud. Yep. What we've seen in the West, back we're talking about that, it's moved. What are we looking at?
Well, basically we're looking at, Jim, fortunately, that from the south, and from reports as well, that this was that a lot of people were checking. The wall doesn't look lined, so it's not a rotation from the base down to this. So that is this particular funnel cloud did have a touchdown just in my Gulfport area. Now, from below, you can see that there's no rain that's wrapped around it. You have a very view of the spinning that is done, but there is sound going out. That might have been a different situation. Like I said, this was reported just around Burlington area, Weston, but when we heard a touchdown around Gulfport, that was likely 40 minutes into the storm itself.
Of just a few power outages in the area. Once again, about 30 people are without Alliant Energy in the Henry area. A few without power. Isaac. About 200 are within Adams County, the Quincy area. And
I'd like producers to get page because I want to show another picture that here again in the Burlington area. Storm has moved a little from this. If we could here in just a few see exactly. Seeing here on my page again clouds and things like that, reports of tornado down, but so far we're not hearing any damage, which is
it's very good news. We're not hearing about a deluge of rain because we do, as James has been saying, flash flood concerns throughout because of the rains that we've seen for quite some time. So I see that winds bringing that heavy rain, which is causing flooding problems in the area.
I bring up a good point because heavy rain. I mean, look, it's bright almost in the, but look in that back corner there, tree. It substantial lowering there, James. I know it's kind of our small here, but it's kind of interesting what's going on back there.
I very like the funnel cloud itself. It might have produced a funnel cloud, but even that brief time that took place, and given the location of it, it's taken probably just south and west I would say around the Burlington area, northeast. So that's what is that place. I'm just going real quick. It's going back to the GS if we can. Real quick here. Good news here, folks. It came over. The rotation has gotten really out there. So the tornado warning for, excuse me, in Illinois is going to expire. In fact, it's expired. So that is some real good news. To our tracker, go back to Fusion if we can. I'm going to point out that tornado expires. So that is some really, really good. The storm may be getting, but just out that there's here, this yellow box that we have here. That is a severe thunderstorm warning in 7 p.m. If I put them together, you can now looking with here that these two storms are kind of coming together. Now we continue to monitor this storm as it makes its way east, and the pre-warn even around night. Because if there is any more rotation begins to pick up, then we could likely another thing on the road, especially those counties just mentioned.
We will be tabs with the weather for the evening, of course. Watching News 8 in just a moment.